Why do women start to dislike their husbands as they get older? The reason is very practical. As we age, relationships evolve. But what happens when a wife, after decades of marriage, starts feeling distant from her husband? Why does a woman who once adored her partner begin to withdraw, lose that spark, and feel indifferent? This is a reality many couples face. Yet few openly discuss the slow fading of affection, the subtle shifts in behavior, the quiet frustration that builds over time. It doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of years of unmet needs, unspoken words, and overlooked moments. The reason isn't always what you think. It's not about falling out of love, it's about realizing what love should feel like. And often, it comes down to practical, everyday reasons. Today, we're going to dive deep into why women, as they get older, start feeling differently about their husbands and, most importantly, what can be done to fix it before it's too late. If you're a husband, a wife, or someone curious about long-term relationships, stay with me until the end. This may completely change the way you see love, aging, and marriage forever. 1. The emotional labor becomes too heavy. For years, many women take on the role of the emotional caretaker in their marriage. They remember birthdays, plan family gatherings, schedule doctor appointments, and manage the household. But as they age, they begin to realize something: this invisible work has taken a toll on them. And here's the harsh truth: most men don't even realize it's happening. Women start to feel like they're carrying the marriage on their backs while their husbands simply exist within it. It's exhausting, and eventually, resentment builds. 2. A lack of meaningful communication. In the early years, conversations are filled with curiosity. How was your day? What are you thinking about? Tell me your dreams. But over time, many husbands stop engaging in deep, meaningful conversations with their wives. Instead, the dialogue becomes routine, predictable, or worse, non-existent. Women crave emotional intimacy just as much as they crave companionship. Without it, they start to feel unseen, unheard, and unappreciated. And once a woman feels invisible, she begins to emotionally withdraw. 3. The burden of housework never ends. One of the most common complaints women have in long-term marriages, the never-ending burden of housework. Studies show that even in modern times, women still do the majority of household chores even after retirement. And by the time they reach their later years, many women are simply tired of it. What starts as small annoyances, dirty dishes left in the sink, clothes not put away, eventually turns into deep resentment. The woman begins to wonder, why do I have to keep doing everything? Or she outgrows the relationship, but he doesn't. As women age, many of them seek personal growth. They want to travel, learn new things, and engage with the world. But if their husband refuses to evolve to grow with them, they start to feel stuck, like they are outgrowing the marriage itself. If a woman feels like she is evolving while her partner remains stagnant, the emotional gap between them grows wider and wider. And one day, she wakes up and realizes she doesn't recognize the man she married. 5. A loss of physical and emotional intimacy. Intimacy is not just about physical closeness. It's about feeling emotionally connected, feeling desired. Over time, many couples lose this spark, and for a woman, this loss can feel like a sign that love itself is fading. If she no longer feels desired, if her husband no longer looks at her the way he once did, she begins to emotionally detach. And once that connection is lost, it's incredibly difficult to rebuild. 6. Retirement changes everything, but not always for the better. Retirement is often seen as the golden chapter of life, a time to relax, travel, and enjoy each other's company. But for many couples, it becomes a source of tension. Why? Because suddenly, they are spending all their time together. And many men struggle to adjust. They go from working full-time to sitting around, unsure of what to do. And unfortunately, in many marriages, this means a wife suddenly becomes the husband's entertainment committee. He expects her to fill his time, to take care of him, to be his constant companion. But instead of retirement being a time of peace, it can feel suffocating, like she's lost the freedom she was looking forward to. 7. She no longer feels heard or appreciated. One of the most painful experiences in marriage isn't fighting, it's feeling invisible. Many women, after years of being the emotional backbone of the family, reach a point where they feel like their voices no longer matter. A wife doesn't need grand gestures, she needs to feel heard. She needs to know that her thoughts, opinions, and emotions still matter to the person she spent decades with. When that stops happening, she begins to emotionally withdraw. And once she does, it's hard to come back from. 8. She realizes life is short and she wants more. As people age, they begin to see life differently. They lose friends, they attend more funerals. They start to understand that time is precious, and for many women, this realization makes them look at their marriage in a new light. She starts asking herself difficult questions. Am I happy? Do I feel loved? Is this how I want to spend the rest of my years? If the answers don't satisfy her, she may begin to withdraw. Not out of anger, but out of self-preservation. Many women reach a stage where they no longer want to fight, nag, or beg for attention. They simply focus on their own well-being. And if their husband doesn't meet them halfway, they quietly detach emotionally, and sometimes even physically. The hard truth about marriage: this is why some women, after decades of marriage, stop trying. Not because they don't care, but because they've realized they deserve more than just existing in someone else's life. Love doesn't disappear in one dramatic moment. It fades in the small and noticed ones, in the moments where a woman feels unheard, in the years where she carries emotional burdens alone, in the times when she needs support but only finds silence. But does it have to be this way? No. Love is a choice. And just as it fades, it can also be reignited. If you're a husband watching this, ask yourself, when was the last time you truly listened to your wife? When was the last time you showed her appreciation, not just as a partner, but as a person? And if you're a wife feeling disconnected, is there still room for rebuilding that connection? Marriage is not about reaching a destination. It's about continuously choosing each other even when the years have changed you. Love is not lost with age. It is lost when we stop nurturing it. If you want to keep your relationship alive in your later years, it's never too late to start. Choose love, choose understanding, and most importantly, choose each other. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care of yourself and your relationships. They are life's greatest treasures.